and this touches on a subject which I was going to largely kind of avoid today a little bit, but would you say that you have more leeway to curate the projects that you want because it's your house as opposed to the mall?
I'm not able to hide as much. So like I can, if something is happening in like a business, then I can hide behind that, and it's not seen as my personal taste. But when it's in a home, all of a sudden it seems much more like personal taste.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm really curious about what that's going to be like. I have no idea.
Right. Yeah, you have really no film at all between you and the art.
Yeah. And the only sort of check that I have for this space is that I have a collaborator for it, Travis Nikolai. And so he's my co-founder, co-director, co-curator. And so he is really making, the interaction that's happening with he as a collaborator kind of adds a lot to what this voice really is, because it makes it so I can't just do the Gabe show. Yeah, it has to be something that communicates to a larger picture.
Yeah. Was Place also with a partner as well, or is that just you?
No, Place started out as a partnership between myself and Gary Weissman. That started in June of 2010, and he and I, it was supposed to be a 2-month project. I was invited to do an installation, and then I invited Gary to do an installation with me. And it was gonna, just to give you like a really quick, just to give a backstory on it. We are going to open up a shop called Free Range Apparel, which is all used underwear from the bins. We had about 70 pounds, various ages, sizes, genders. Nothing was washed, and we're gonna have like little tags with stories and that sort of a thing. When I collaborate, I like to use a game called Wouldn't It Be Funny? Because it's just, and everything can be theoretical, but who doesn't like to hear something funnier? It's like, so when you're collaborating, sometimes it's fun to hear like somebody goes, oh my god, you'd be even funnier, and then they go off, and like my critiquing voice is silenced because I'm just in it for the funny.
Yeah.
And then we can backtrack, like, oh, okay, what was theoretical about this or whatever it might be. But it was like So Place started out as this other project, an installation, and so it became a process-based installation gallery, but it was only a 2-month project. And I was working with a group called Portland City Art, who Chris Haberman was a part of, and he's the one that has People's Art now up there. And so that was, I can't remember what we were talking about with that little thread. If it started out with collaborators. It started out with Gary Weissman and I. But we had planned on it shutting after 2 months because it was like, oh, well, look at us. We are having to face the effects of the economy just like everybody else. And we can't keep our gallery going. But it was just going to be open to be funny.
But as it turned out...
No, then it became a funny. Yeah. And so the group that we were working with, it was a couple, and they had a lot of projects going on, and so they're going through just some growing pains just as an organization. So they were going to let the mall spaces go, and so we decided to pursue them ourselves. And so we brought Chris Haberman in, and then myself, Gary Weissman, and then Paul McCarell, who was one of our first artists, kind of came in, and we kind of managed the project together.
Is there anything in particular, this is a more general question, is there anything in particular that you're kind of looking for when you curate? And then, only because I happen to talk to John, and sadly I probably won't have time to talk to the other artists before we have to go to print.
Oh, sure.
But like, how does he kind of fit into that, and what
Oh, sure, for that
vision, I guess.
Oh, sure, for that show, in particular with Michael Reinsch, which is a high improbability of death, colon, a celebration of suicide, Paul Clay's Parking Lot Dance, and then John Doherty's Shit Balloons. All three of them placed their themselves personally into their work. So either it's performative or they're Paul Clay has like multiples of him that is like computer generated himself, and they're all absurdist. And so they kind of take they take that commonplace thing and then kind of ask a little bit more of it.
Yeah.
And then just kind of take that wouldn't it be funny, or take that absurdity to the logical conclusion, which was just like, what? You're going to read an epic poem lifting yourself up off, not lifting yourself up, but like lifting balloons up, like with a noose. I'm like, that is so tragic.
Yeah.
I mean, it ended up being just really magical. Those three shows and working very, very well together. So I couldn't be happier.